Hello, Varlets. I normally don't do hotfix coverage, but I'm pretty excited about this one. Also, this hotfix kind of threw a small wrench in some of my videos in progress, so I'm gonna have to revisit them in a little bit. Anyway, hotfix 1.10.2 just went live, and in it was some pretty good changes. The first of which is the HIVE SCUM talent tree having some of its nodes moved around. Now, I say moved around and not balanced because Fatchuck isn't going to touch balance for the nodes just yet, so here is a list of which talent was being shifted and swapped around with what. The gist of this change is to make it so that the early game experience of playing a low-level HIVE SCUM isn't outright torture. This screenshot here shows you what I feel are the most impactful changes to the HIVE SCUM's early game survivability. The first one is that the burst of energy has been moved very early into the tree, now giving low-level HIVE SCUM players an emergency toughness recovery which should aid in staying alive for longer. The other node down here, right before your aura, is where Tis But the Scratch now resides, which provides a good deal of toughness regen to mitigate chip damage. I think these changes are great since they now provide the class with more options of toughness regen earlier on rather than later. However, this does mean that the old trinity of defensive nodes right before the Adrenaline Frenzy keystone is now no more. Oh well, a good change nonetheless. There have also been some crucial talent fixes that have made it into the patch notes. Now, Chem Toxin damage kills from the direct needle pistol hit will count for Desperado and Blackout Grenade regen counters. This makes the Toxin support build even better than before, now that we can reliably trigger it from afar. Keep in mind that it's the direct hit, so the AoE explosion which comes from the Mark II, which also applies Chem Toxin, won't count for this. Blessed Stims and Chemical Dependency will now also be triggered when entering Stim supply crates that contain a Stim. This is such a good quality of life change that makes so much more sense for the ability, and now actually has some synergy between the combat ability and the keystone. They also fixed the bug where sometimes you'd be unable to deploy your Stim supply and you'd be standing there like an idiot holding a box. They've made it so that it will drop at your feet in the event it gets stuck. The bug between hypercritical and precision violence has been fixed. I've hopped into my game and tested it out and can confirm that it does work now. They've also fixed an issue where the damage over time effects could make rampaging backstabs stop working. This is a good fix for shivs and combat blades that were using bleed or the toxin coating talent. Now, a huge buff incoming for the Boombringer. The devs have stated that they are happy with where the other blitzers are, and for now, the Boombringer needs to be in a better position. So what they've done is they've increased the ammo from 2 to 3. This is a big change and I really love it. But they've also increased the ADM of the explosion damage from 2 to 2.4. This means that the blast damage alone deals 6,720 damage to crushers near the epicenter. On top of that, they've massively widened the blast radius, increasing the far radius from 4 meters to 7 meters. They've also increased the epicenter radius from 2 to 4 meters, letting you hit more enemies for maximum blast damage. And on top of all of that, they've increased the damage floor for the blast damage from 900 to 1,300, which is a 44% increase and makes wiping out hordes of mixed enemies even better. I am very, very happy for these changes. I mean, look at what it can do now. They've also made some minor adjustments to our weapons, most notably being the dual stub pistols now getting their crit modifiers applied correctly, the dual auto pistols having reduced camera animation while sprinting, and fixed the bone saw getting stuck in the blocking animation. We also have a fix for the Alchemist pendants where it fails to track correctly during missions. Now it's tracked based on a time interval rather when a stack of dependency is lost. I hope the guy on Reddit who made that post about getting into the Valkyrie but not getting the pendants is happy now. Hopefully life will be a lot easier from now on. Lastly, as part of the big changes, we're getting another operator slot increase from 8 to 9. And, well, finally, there is now a known issue where because of how they tweaked with how explosions work in the game, we are getting hit by explosions from further than before. This is why barrels and poxbursters are kind of messing us up for a bit. While it's not yet fixed, it's at least acknowledged now. The rest of the notes are around some hotfixes to the event, maps, and cosmetics, but all of the juicy stuff is above. Right, now with that, I now need to go and rework a couple of videos with this new release. Thank the Emperor, I didn't start editing him just yet. So, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one, Varlets.